Hello guys, welcome to the fiction series. Today we are gonna see, what if Naruto was the son of goddess? Part 1. If you want more awesome fan fiction like this, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. So without wasting any time, let's get into the video. It was a dark and momentous night when everything changed for Minato Namikaze, the Hokage of Konoha. The date was December 10, the day he was about to become a father. However, Minato knew that danger lurked in the shadows and he couldn't let his guard down. His wife, Kushina, also known as the Red Death of Konoha, had a secret. She was the holder of the mighty Kyuubi, the strongest of the 9 great demons. Inherited from her aunt, Mito Uzumaki Senju, Kushina had mastered the power of the tailed beast. Mito had warned her about the risks involved, especially during childbirth. When female Jinchuriki like her were giving birth, their seals weakened, posing a threat of the beast breaking free. Minato was well aware of the destructive force Kyuubi possessed, and he was determined to protect his family at all costs. As the fateful day arrived, Minato's most trusted ninja, Kakashi Hatake, reassured him about the safety of their location. Kakashi, wearing his signature dog mask, spoke with respect, but Minato reminded him to drop the formalities. The two shared a bond beyond mentor and student, as Kakashi was the last surviving member of Minato's team, having lost Obito, Uchiha and Rin before they became Chunin. Minato carried the weight of their deaths, blaming himself for not saving them. However, in the face of impending fatherhood, he set aside his guilt and focused on protecting his new family. The time drew near, and Kushina lay in bed, her hands and legs secured for safety. Minato approached her, and she woke from her slumber. They exchanged playful banter, expressing their excitement and concerns. Kushina playfully threatened Minato, vowing to kill him if the pain was unbearable. Minato teased her about their future child inheriting her fiery spirit, and they shared a heartfelt moment. Despite the anticipation, Minato made sure Kushina was alright before the birthing process began. Iwako Sarutobi, the wife of the third Hokage Hiruzen Sarutobi, arrived, providing support and checking on Kushina's well-being. Iwako, an elderly woman with an air of nobility, was not a ninja but possessed wisdom and experience. Kushina reassured her that Minato had not been bothering her and that they were discussing their future child. Iwako sensed the confirmation she needed and prepared to assist in the birth. Minato was by Kushina's side, holding her hand over the seal that contained the great demon's power. Kushina, in excruciating pain, held onto Minato tightly. He comforted her, reminding her of her strength. Amidst the tears and agony, their child was born, a set of triplets. Minato was both surprised and overjoyed by the unexpected arrival of 3 children. The oldest, a boy, had his father's beautiful blue eyes, though his facial features resembled his mother's. He also displayed faint hints of blonde hair, just like Minato. The second child, a girl, bore a striking resemblance to Kushina, inheriting her mother's face, eyes, and vibrant red hair. However, she possessed 3 distinctive whisker-like marks on each cheek, evidence of Kyuubi's chakra flowing within her. Just as the family celebrated their new, Minato was looking at his children when he heard the sound of a blast. It looks like they're under attack. Minato looks with horror when a man comes through the door. The door is closed, but that doesn't stop Masked Man from coming in. He somehow phased through the door like they never there began with. Minato looks at their intruder. He doesn't look that old, but he could tell he is powerful just by looking at him. He also has some unique abilities that let him phase through objects. Minato also sees so much blood on him that indicates he also killed everyone who stood in his way. Minato was somehow concerned about Kakashi. But that's not the main problem here right now. Here he has 3 children and an unconscious wife to take care of. If it is just him, that won't be a problem, and he may defeat this Masked Man with no problem. But right now his main focus is to protect his family. Hokage. I suggest you give up on Jinchuriki. I will let you and your kids go unharmed. The Masked Man says without hint of any emotions. I will not let you even touch my children and my wife. Surrender now or I have to use force. Minato said without even hint of fear. Very well then, Mask said and ran forward with binding speed. Minato wasn't called a Yellow Flash of Konoha for nothing. He quickly moved to interfere with him, but unfortunately he passed through him and took the newly born boy as hostage. Minato has fear in his eyes. Now that his newborn boy's life is in the enemy's hand. Now choose between Jinchuriki and this newborn child, Hokage. He said and throw baby in the air. Minato quickly moves to catch him. Masked Man also attached some explosion seals on him, so Minato doesn't have time to save both his son and wife. Minato's heart raced as he watched the Masked Man's cruel game unfold before his eyes. He could feel the weight of the situation pressing down on him. With each passing moment, the tension grew, and he knew he had to act quickly. Seeing the explosive seals attached to him, Minato made a split-second decision. He extended his arm, using his incredible speed and reflexes to catch his newborn son in midair. The moment was filled with a mix of relief and fear as he clutched his child protectively against his chest. However, the threat to his wife still loomed. Minato's gaze shifted back to the masked man, his eyes burning with determination. He couldn't let his fear paralyze him, he had to find a way to protect his family. Minato's eyes burned with a mix of determination and fear as he watched the masked man take his newborn son hostage. His heart raced, but he refused to let panic consume him. The safety of his family was paramount and he was prepared to do whatever it took to protect them. As the masked man taunted him, Minato's mind raced, analyzing every possible move. He knew he had to act swiftly and decisively. Without a moment's hesitation, he focused his attention solely on saving his son, his instincts guiding him. The weight of responsibility settled heavily on his shoulders. With lightning-fast reflexes, Minato lunged forward, his body a blur as he reached out to catch his baby boy mid-air. Time seemed to slow down as he extended his arms, his heart pounding in his chest. In that fleeting moment, he felt a surge of relief as he successfully caught his son, cradling him protectively in his embrace. But as Minato held his son close, he couldn't ignore the explosion seals attached to his body. The realization hit him like a punch to the gut. He had been forced into an impossible choice, and the consequences were dire. He knew he couldn't save both his son and his wife, Kushina. The guilt threatened to consume him, but he pushed it aside, focusing on the task at hand. The explosive seals detonated with a deafening blast, sending shockwaves through the area. Minato was thrown backward, his body battered and scorched by the force of the explosion. The pain seared through him, but he refused to let it weaken his resolve. Masked Man's sudden disappearance with the unconscious Kushina left Minato devastated. Helpless and filled with frustration, he watched as the mysterious figure evaporated into thin air, seemingly swallowed by some unseen force. Kakashi, witnessing the heartbreaking scene, tried to confront the intruder but was swiftly defeated, sustaining injuries to both his legs that hindered his mobility. Despite his injuries, Kakashi blamed himself for not being able to protect the Hokage and Kushina. However, Minato reassured him, explaining that the masked man possessed the ability to phase through solid objects, rendering even their formidable powers useless. Determined to ensure the safety of their children, Minato made a difficult decision. Recognizing Kakashi's incapacitated state, Minato resolved to teleport him and their children to the safety of his home. It was the most secure place they could be while he embarked on the urgent mission of finding Kushina. Though Kakashi protested, acknowledging his injury and inability to defend the children effectively, Minato insisted, trusting his loyal friend to protect their precious ones. Wasting no time, Minato swiftly executed his teleportation jutsu, whisking Kakashi and the children away to the refuge of his home. Once they were safely transported, Minato's focus shifted entirely to the task at hand. Locating Kushina. Minato's heart pounded with fear and determination as he frantically searched for his wife, Kushina. Every passing moment felt like an eternity, and the weight of his worry pressed heavily upon him. He couldn't bear the thought of losing her, not after all they had been through. His desperation turned into a burning rage as he swore that when he encountered the masked man again, he would make him pay for his actions. The very idea of revenge fueled his every step, propelling him forward with a resolute determination. Suddenly, an overwhelming surge of malevolent chakra enveloped the area, sending shivers down Minato's spine. Dread painted his face as he comprehended the magnitude of what had just transpired. The masked man had succeeded in releasing the Nine Tails, one of the most powerful and destructive demons in existence. Time seemed to freeze momentarily as Minato's mind raced to come up with a plan. With unparalleled speed, he darted toward the source of the disturbance, propelled by a blend of adrenaline and love for his wife. Minato's agile movements allowed him to arrive just in time, witnessing the scene that unfolded before him. There stood Kushina, barely able to stand, while the colossal form of the Nine Tails loomed over her menacingly. The hatred radiating from the beast's eyes was palpable, a reflection of its tormented existence as a sealed entity. Though the Nine Tails despised Kushina, Minato found solace in the fact that, for the moment, she was safe. Summoning every ounce of strength within him, Minato unleashed his Thunder God Jutsu, the technique that had earned him the infamous moniker of the Yellow Flash. In an instant, he teleported to his wife's side, wielding his tri-pointed kunai with a firm grip. Pulling Kushina into a tight embrace, Minato used his legendary jutsu once more, transporting them all to the safety of their home. Waiting there were their precious children and Minato's loyal student, offering a glimmer of hope amidst the chaos that had unfolded. As they found themselves in the familiar warmth of their household, Minato felt a mix of relief and determination. He knew that their struggle was far from over, but he also recognized the strength that resided within their family. With unwavering resolve, Minato vowed to protect his loved ones and bring an end to the masked man's reign of terror, no matter the cost. Kakashi's heart raced as he initially mistook the approaching figure for an enemy. However, a wave of relief washed over him when he realized it was his sensei, Minato. Concern etched across his face, Kakashi couldn't help but voice his worry, "Is Lady Kushina okay, sensei?" Minato's expression softened as he replied, "She is alright for now, but we have more pressing matters to attend to." That man somehow broke the seal and freed the Kyuubi. With a determined gaze, Minato added, "You stay here. I have the village to protect." Without waiting for a response, he swiftly teleported away, leaving Kakashi behind. Meanwhile, atop the Hokage Tower, Minato surveyed the chaotic scene unfolding below. The immense power of the Nine Tails had enabled it to breach the village's defenses and wreak havoc within. Minato deduced that the man responsible must have teleported the beast directly into the heart of the village. The sight of the village's destruction weighed heavily on his shoulders, knowing that humans had sealed the Kyuubi away for over a century. As Minato observed, a menacing glow emanated from the Nine Tails, signaling its preparation for its most dreaded attack, the Bijidama. The air crackled with an amalgamation of red and blue chakra as a massive sphere formed in its gaping maw. The destructive power of this chakra cannon aimed to obliterate the entire village in one fell swoop. But before it could be unleashed, Minato's lightning-fast reflexes kicked in, and he teleported the Bijidama to a nearby forest, sparing the village from annihilation. Realizing that engaging the Kyuubi within the village would only spell further disaster, Minato strategized his next move. He employed his unparalleled Flying Thunder God technique, instantly teleporting himself to the beast's side. The village's safety remained his utmost priority. With precision and speed, Minato transported the rampaging Kyuubi away from the village, determined to confront the demon in a more controlled environment. At this critical moment, Minato stood in the midst of chaos, his mind burdened with the weight of his choices. He locked eyes with the wise and concerned Hiruzen Sarutobi, the respected third Hokage of the village, who had rushed to his side. "Minato, what has happened? How could Kyuubi have been released from its prison? Is Kushina safe? And where is my wife?" Hiruzen asked, his voice filled with worry for his beloved spouse. With a heavy sigh, Minato gathered his thoughts and prepared himself to share the grim truth. "Hiruzen, someone attacked us in a secret location, managing to kidnap Kushina. I fought to rescue her, but in the midst of the chaos, Kyuubi was set free. Regrettably, aside from my wife, our children, and Kakashi, no one else survived the encounter." "That masked man mercilessly took the lives of all the guards present," Minato replied, his sorrow evident in his voice. Hiruzen's eyes widened, and a mix of shock and grief swept over him. The magnitude of the situation settled upon him, and he understood the gravity of the decision that lay before Minato. As the village descended into despair, Minato's mind raced with thoughts of his family, his duty as Hokage, and the future of the village. The image of his wife, Kushina, haunted his thoughts, knowing how fiercely protective she was of their children. He also understood the immense power held within the Uzumaki bloodline, a power capable of withstanding the overwhelming chakra of Kyuubi. The weight of the choice pressed heavily on Minato's heart. On one hand, he could protect his children, shielding them from the burdens of sealing Kyuubi within them, but it would mean risking the village's survival. On the other hand, he could sacrifice one of his children, saving countless lives, but forever altering the fate of the chosen child. His mind clouded by the agony of decision, Minato knew that time was running out. Kyuubi's destructive rampage threatened to devour the village, and he could not delay any longer. Seeking a moment of solitude, he withdrew to a quiet chamber within the Hokage residence, hoping for clarity in the midst of chaos. Time passed as Minato contemplated his options. The cries of anguish from the village echoed in his ears, fueling his determination to end this catastrophe. Eventually, the path he had to tread became clear. Minato emerged from the chamber, his resolve renewed. Though the decision weighed heavily on his heart, he knew what had to be done. He found Hiruzen, who had patiently awaited his return, his gaze filled with understanding and support. "Hiruzen," Minato began, his voice steady, "I have made my choice. It pains me to do so, but I must seal Kyuubi within one of my children. It is a heavy burden, but our family carries the bloodline of the Uzumaki, and only they can withstand Kyuubi's chakra without succumbing to its power." Hiruzen nodded solemnly, recognizing the depth of sacrifice Minato was about to make. Together, they devised a plan to protect and support the chosen child, ensuring their safety and nurturing their potential as they grew. Hiruzen Sarutobi, although currently burdened by grief over his wife's death, was known as the smartest man in the village. He had earned the title of the professor for a reason, you explained to one of your children. So it's safe to say that Kushina gave birth to more than one child. Yes, that's correct. We have 3 children, 2 girls and 1 boy, Minato confirmed, a glimmer of pride shining through his sorrow. Despite the dire situation they found themselves in, the mention of their children brought a smile to his face. Filled with determination, Hiruzen turned to Minato and made a request, "Can you take me to them? I have an idea that will ensure none of your children have to sacrifice their lives in the sealing process." Minato, slightly confused but trusting in Hiruzen's wisdom, complied with his request. Using his teleportation technique, he transported the third Hokage to their home, where their children awaited their return. Upon seeing them, a warm smile crept across Hiruzen's face. "They are beautiful, Minato," he remarked, his eyes filled with affection for the young ones. Now, here's my plan. Instead of choosing only one child to bear the burden of the nine-tailed fox, we will seal it within two of your children. This way, both of them will have a chance to survive and learn to control their chakra. Hirizin's plan offered a glimmer of hope amidst the darkness that had enveloped the village. The two powerful Hokages stood together, their determination unwavering as they vowed to protect their children at all costs. What are you saying? How can we seal Kyuubi inside two of them? Minato asked, his confusion evident. Hiruzen, aware of the gravity of the situation, calmly responded, Minato, you know what the Reaper Death Seal is, right? Minato's eyes widened at the mention of the technique the third was suggesting to use. The Reaper Death Seal involved sealing someone's soul within the belly of the Shinigami. However, the caster of this jutsu had to submit their own soul to the Shinigami as well. You can't use that jutsu. You are going to die if you do, Minato replied, fully aware of the sacrifice it demanded. This is the only way, Minato. And you know it, Hiruzen replied firmly. Besides, Bawako is also gone, and my sons are old enough to take care of themselves. But you have a wife and children to take care of, he added, considering Minato's responsibilities. I can't change your mind, can I? Minato stated, more as a statement than a question. Sarutobi looked at all three of them before finally saying, we are going to use girls. They already have the whisker marks that suggest they were born with Kyuubi's chakra affecting them. Hiruzen's suggestion struck a chord with Minato, and he reluctantly agreed. The weight of the decision settled heavily upon their hearts. Minato couldn't help but worry about the fate of the chosen girls, but he understood the dire circumstances. The village's survival depended on their sacrifice. It was a bittersweet moment, knowing that he had to entrust the lives of these young girls to the unpredictable nature of the shinobi world. Together, they embarked on the arduous task of preparing for the sealing ritual, meticulously planning every detail to ensure the girls' safety to the best of their ability. Minato's heart ached at the thought of the sacrifice these innocent children would have to make, but he remained resolute. As the fateful day approached, Minato trained rigorously to hone his skills, determined to protect the village until his last breath. Hiruzen offered his guidance and support, ensuring that the young Hokage was prepared for the intense battle ahead. Their bond grew stronger amidst the hardships they faced together, solidifying their resolve to protect Konoha at any cost. After teleporting the third Hokage and his two girls to the location where he had earlier teleported the Nine Tails, Minato swiftly devised a plan to buy enough time for Hiruzen to seal the rampaging beast. With his incredible speed and agility, Minato engaged the Kyuubi in a breathtaking display of ninjutsu, skillfully dodging its ferocious attacks and countering with precise strikes. Hiruzen wasted no time and immediately began performing the sacred Reaper Death Seal. As he channeled his chakra and focused his will, the ancient and formidable Shinigami materialized behind him, its presence instilling both awe and fear. With a mighty grip, the Shinigami took hold of the Kyuubi, its immense power barely contained. The Shinigami, guided by Hiruzen's expert control, started the process of dividing the Kyuubi's soul into two distinct entities. With each tier, the Yin chakra and Yang chakra were separated, their essence pulsating with overwhelming energy. The air crackled with intensity as the Kyuubi's divided soul took shape, ready to be sealed once again. Recognizing the urgency of the situation, Hiruzen summoned his deep knowledge of sealing techniques. Calling upon the ancient 8-trigram sealing style, a technique passed down from the first Hokage's wife, he expertly performed the intricate hand signs. The air shimmered with ethereal symbols as the sealing jutsu began to take effect. With profound concentration, Hiruzen sealed the yin half of the Kyuubi's essence into the young girl with the vibrant red hair, her determined gaze reflecting her newfound burden. Simultaneously, he entrusted the responsibility of the yang half to the other girl, whose hair gleamed like strands of golden sunlight. They stood tall, ready to bear the weight of the beast's power within them. The Shinigami, its task completed, returned to the realm from which it had emerged, the echoes of its presence lingering in the hearts of all who witnessed the momentous event. As it departed, it consumed Hiruzen's soul as the ultimate price for wielding such formidable sealing power. Minato, relieved to see his girls safe and unharmed, embraced them tightly, their safety bringing warmth to his heart. Deeply aware of the sacrifices made on this historic day, he vowed to honor the memory of the fallen and ensure that the third Hokage's selfless sacrifice would forever be remembered. The village of Konoha, despite the heavy losses suffered, found solace in the knowledge that the indomitable spirit of their fallen hero lived on within the two young bearers of the Kyuubi's power. The path ahead would undoubtedly be arduous, but with Minato's unwavering support and the strength of their bond, they would persevere and protect the village they held dear. In the void-like space, a woman floated aimlessly, her skin as white as snow and long white hair flowing around her. A third eye adorned her forehead, although it remained closed for now, concealing its mysterious power. Her face radiated a beauty akin to that of a divine goddess. Suddenly, her eyes opened, though not the enigmatic third eye. Confusion filled her gaze as she struggled to comprehend her surroundings and how she arrived there. Memories flooded back, revealing her purpose. She had been chosen from her own planet to harness the energy of this new world for chakra fruits. These fruits bestowed immense power, rivaling even that of gods. But an unexpected twist had occurred. Love had found its way into her heart, entwining her emotions with a man native to this planet. No longer did she desire to bring destruction upon it. All she yearned for now was to live a blissful life by his side. However, her partner, who accompanied her to this realm, remained committed to using the planet's energy for chakra fruits. To secure her own happiness, she had made the difficult decision to betray her partner and her own people, slaying them to protect her newfound love. The sacrifices she made were inconsequential in the face of her love for the man who held her heart captive. Today, her joy overflowed as her loyal maid shared the news of her impending motherhood. Nothing could dampen her spirits, or so she believed. Yet fate had a cruel twist in store. A stranger arrived, audaciously demanding that she abandon the man she loved and go with him. How dare anyone attempt to separate her from her beloved? She swiftly dispatched the intruder, unwilling to let anyone come between them. But another unexpected turn awaited her. The man she loved, who had been her sanctuary, now stood before her, demanding she venture to the place of the man she had slain. Did his love for her wane? Was she no longer important to him? Betrayal pierced her heart, shattering her sense of security. She had defied her own people for him, but now he intended to deliver her into the hands of others who sought her demise. Did he not cherish her anymore? Did he not care for their unborn child? A wave of sadness, anger, and betrayal washed over her, threatening to consume her very being. How dare they steal away everything she held dear? All she had desired was a life of happiness with the man she loved, yet even the divine seemed to conspire against her. If the gods denied her desires, she would ascend to their realm and seize what she yearned for. Consuming the chakra fruit crafted by her partner, she unleashed unimaginable power. Her newfound strength empowered her to exact vengeance on anyone foolish enough to try and separate her from the one she loved. She eliminated those who threatened her happiness and resolved to create a sanctuary where she and her children, whom she loved more than life itself, could live in harmony. Once again, she found solace in her newfound joy. 2 sons, her beloved treasures, filled her heart with immeasurable love. They, too, possessed the extraordinary chakra she wielded, and their devotion mirrored her own. Their lives would be brimming with happiness henceforth. Yet, perhaps the divine truly did harbor disdain for her. Once again, they wrested away her beloved, someone she cherished above all else. Her younger son harbored secrets, and her older son remained nowhere to be found. Sadness and anger consumed her anew. Desperate to understand, she delved into her younger son's mind, only to discover that he believed she was indiscriminately taking lives without reason. But she hadn't harmed anyone. Why would her own son believe such falsehoods? The pain of the situation overwhelmed her, and she attempted to erase her son's memories, unable to bear the thought of fighting against her own flesh and blood. The process was agonizing, tearing at her heart. Eventually, her older son returned, but instead of finding solace in his presence, her anguish intensified. Witnessing her younger son's allegiance to her, he committed an unspeakable act. He ended his own brother's life. The magnitude of her rage consumed her, for how could he betray his own blood? Engulfed in a fierce battle, she unleashed her powers upon him, only to find her attacks futile against his defenses. In contrast, his strikes inflicted immeasurable pain upon her. With a twist of fate, he employed his eyes' formidable abilities to seal her away, trapping his own mother, the one who had given him life and loved him unconditionally. Her eyes closed, enveloped in darkness. Now, she once again opened her eyes, finding herself in a desolate black void. She struggled to move, but her body remained unresponsive. Yet, as time passed, she noticed a glimmer of hope. She sensed chakra, a familiar energy she shared with her older son. To her surprise, the planet teemed with individuals possessing chakra. It was as if her son's chakra had been divided and distributed among the people. Questions filled her mind. Had someone forcibly taken her son's chakra and gifted it to others? Or had he willingly relinquished his power? The mystery surrounding this development perplexed her. Additionally, she detected that the immense chakra emanating from the chakra tree had diminished, fragmented into 9 pieces scattered across the planet. Furthermore, she discerned that her older son's chakra surpassed that of others on the planet, emanating from 2 distinct individuals. One carried his son's chakra, while the other possessed a chakra craving for power. Though she held reservations about the latter, her attention was captivated by the former. She resolved to keep a watchful eye on the one connected to her son's chakra, despite her limitations. With determination, she focused her senses, peering into the lives of these families she longed to call her own. She saw them, 2 families intertwined by fate. The first family consisted of 2 young children, the eldest playing joyfully with his younger brother, both bearing dark black hair. The second family slumbered peacefully, a newborn with vibrant yellow hair lying beside 2 small girls, one with red hair, the other sharing her brother's golden locks. A woman with red hair, the children's mother, kept a vigilant watch over them. From a distance, she observed, yearning to be part of a family that would truly love her. Despite the betrayal she had endured, the yearning for unconditional love remained. She yearned to forget the pain and hardships, hoping for a chance to live a joyous life with her sons. However, she remained trapped, her body immobilized, unable to bridge the distance that separated her from her heart's desires. All she could do was watch, her eyes filled with an ache that transcended the void. The cruel reality reminded her that even with the power of a deity, she was denied the fulfillment of her deepest longing to be cherished by her own family. In that endless expanse, she clung to a flicker of hope, praying for an opportunity to reunite with her sons, to feel their love, and to find solace in the embrace of a family that would accept her unconditionally. For now, she remained an ethereal observer, a lost soul trapped in the interstice of existence, forever yearning for the love that eluded her grasp. Minato Namikaze, the current Hokage of Konoha, sat in the council room surrounded by the village's clan heads and council members. The atmosphere was tense as they discussed a recent attack by the masked man and the release of the Nine Tails. Danzo Shimura, one of the elders, voiced the question on everyone's mind. Hokage-sama, how did the Kyuubi attack us without any warning? What happened exactly? Minato took a moment to collect his thoughts before responding. As you all know, my wife Kushina was the Jinchuriki of the Kyuubi. We had kept her pregnancy a secret for safety reasons, but somehow the information leaked. The masked man attacked us, killing Kushina, our children, and even Kakashi. He managed to kidnap my wife, forcing me to prioritize their safety over stopping him. It was then that he broke the seal and released the Kyuubi. Concerned for Kushina's well-being, Shikaku Nara asked, "Is your wife alright, Hokage-sama? And how did you manage to stop the Kyuubi? Did you reseal it inside her?" Minato sighed, the weight of his loss evident in his voice. Kushina was not in a condition to contain the Kyuubi again. The third Hokage used a forbidden technique that requires the user's soul. He split the Kyuubi's chakra into two halves and sealed them inside our newborn baby girls. The room fell into silence as everyone absorbed the gravity of the situation. The presence of two Kyuubi Jinchuriki within the village stirred concern among some of the council members, but they held their tongues, respecting Minato's love for his family. Shikaku pressed further, how is it possible for the third Hokage to seal the Kyuubi inside two individuals? And where is he now? Minato explained, the third used a unique forbidden technique that involved sacrificing his own soul. The technique allows the user to extract the target soul, which is then consumed by the Shinigami. However, in this case, the Shinigami also consumed the user's soul. Using this method, the third divided the Kyuubi's chakra and sealed it within our twin daughters. As for the third, he is no longer with us. The council members exchanged glances, astonished by the extent of sacrifice and the burden now placed upon the twin girls. Minato's eyes reflected his determination as he continued, we need to find the masked man as soon as possible. He possessed a unique ability to phase through objects like a ghost. Despite his youth and inexperience, he proved to be a formidable adversary. We cannot underestimate his potential. The Ashi Hyuga, head of the Hyuga clan, spoke up, offering a solution. Hokage-sama, my clan's Byakugan is renowned for its extraordinary vision. We can use our abilities to track down the masked man. Minato considered the suggestion and nodded. Very well, Hiashi Hyuga and Tsuminyazuka, I hereby assign both of your clans to keep a vigilant watch for the masked man. We must strengthen our defenses and prevent any further attacks. But the council meeting coming to an end, Minato's attention was drawn to the sudden entrance of Jiraiya, the legendary Sannin, who appeared excited and out of breath. Annoyed, Minato scolded him for interrupting the meeting. Apologizing, Jiraiya conveyed urgent news to Minato. Minato, I was summoned to Mount Myaboku, and the great sage delivered a prophecy to me regarding the birth of two children in the village hidden in the leaves. According to the prophecy, one child will possess the ancient power of the sun, while the other will wield the power of the moon, and they will have the ability to either save or destroy the world. The room fell into a profound silence as Minato and the council members absorbed the weight of the prophecy. It was a monumental revelation that had the potential to shape the future of the village. Minato's mind raced with thoughts of his twin daughters and the immense responsibility that lay upon them. Breaking the silence, Minato spoke with a resolute tone. We must take this prophecy seriously and ensure that our daughters remain by our side. The fate of the world may rest in their hands. We cannot afford to make any mistakes. Danzo Shimura, always looking for an opportunity, spoke up. Hokage-sama, let me take charge of training your daughters. My clan possesses unique abilities and expertise that can help them harness their powers. Minato, however, remained firm in his decision. No, Danzo. I will personally take on the responsibility of training my daughters. When the time comes, I will enlist the help of Jiraiya-sensei and Tsunade-sensei, the legendary Sannin. Together, we will guide them on the path to becoming strong and responsible individuals. Shikaku Nara chimed in, understanding Minato's perspective. Hokage-sama, it makes sense to prioritize the training of your daughters, considering the immense power they hold. We must ensure they do not lose control, especially in the presence of their brother, Naruto. Minato nodded, grateful for the support. Thank you, Shikaku. We must handle this situation delicately. Our daughter's training should take precedence, but we must also keep an eye on Naruto's progress. I have faith in his resilience and determination. With the council meeting adjourned, Minato found himself alone in the room, lost in his thoughts. He contemplated the weight of his responsibilities as Hokage and as a father. The path ahead was filled with uncertainties, but he was determined to protect his village and his family. Outside the council room, Jiraiya caught up with Minato, ready to embark on his own journey. Minato, I am leaving the village for a while to search for Tsunade. She possesses invaluable medical knowledge and can aid us in nurturing your daughter's abilities. Together, we can ensure their growth and safeguard their potential. Minato placed a hand on Jiraiya's shoulder, a gesture of gratitude and trust. Thank you, Jiraiya. Your presence and guidance will be invaluable. Let us tread this path together for the sake of our children and the future of the village. As they parted ways, Minato's mind buzzed with plans for his daughter's training. He knew it would be a challenging journey, but he was determined to shape them into the heroes the prophecy spoke of. With the combined strength of his own training, the wisdom of Jiraiya and Tsunade, and the love and support of the village, he believed they could overcome any obstacles that lay in their path. Minato Namikaze, the fourth Hokage, prepared himself for the arduous task ahead, ready to guide his daughters towards their destiny and ensure the safety and prosperity of the village hidden in the leaves. Kaguya Otsutsuki found herself engrossed in the unfolding events surrounding her son, Naruto, and his newly named daughters, Akari and Naruko. She marveled at the uniqueness of the two girls who possessed fragments of the Nine Tails chakra, each divided in a way she couldn't comprehend. The division of yin and yang chakra within them was an ability beyond her own capabilities. Pondering over who could possess such power, Kaguya realized that only deities like gods or Shinigami could manipulate chakra in such a manner. She grew concerned, knowing that these powerful beings couldn't appear on Earth unless summoned. Someone on the planet must possess enough strength to summon a Shinigami, which made her worry for the safety of her sons. However, Kaguya didn't have to wait long to uncover the truth. The following day, Minato stood atop the Hokage Tower, prepared to address the village and reveal what had transpired. The people eagerly gathered, desperate to learn who had saved them and what led to the Kyuubi's attack. Minato began by explaining the concept of Jinchuriki to those unfamiliar with it. He then revealed the identities of the first two Jinchuriki of the Kyuubi, Mito Senju and his wife, Kushina Namikaze. The revelation shocked many, as they had never expected that the wives of the first and fourth Hokages had once housed the powerful demon fox within them. However, Minato continued, describing the events of the previous day. He recounted the attack on his wife during childbirth, the subsequent release of the Kyuubi, and his desperate struggle to save both his wife and the village. In the end, it was the third Hokage who sacrificed his life to seal the Kyuubi within Minato's newborn daughters, Akari and Naruko. The villagers reacted with a mix of disbelief, gratitude, and fear. They couldn't fathom the fact that the esteemed third Hokage had perished, sacrificing himself for the village's safety. At the same time, they grappled with the presence of such a formidable demon within their community. Yet, they had faith in Minato and the third Hokage's sealing abilities, as both were renowned for their expertise in the field. They took solace in the fact that the Kyuubi hadn't managed to escape in the first place and trusted that the seals would hold firm. Minato was relieved to see the village accepting the truth, knowing that secrecy would have only bred skepticism. However, he withheld one crucial piece of information: the prophecy regarding his daughters. He didn't want the prophecy to spread and risk his daughters becoming targets for other villages. Meanwhile, Kushina, now awake and surrounded by her children Naruto, Akari, and Naruko in the hospital room, sensed that something was amiss. She felt a newfound solitude, a void that she couldn't explain. Concerned, she questioned Minato about what had transpired after she lost consciousness during the attack. Minato shared the harrowing details of the attack, how the Kyuubi had been unleashed by the masked man, and the third Hokage's selfless act to divide and seal the Kyuubi's chakra within their daughters. He explained that the third had used a forbidden technique to separate the Kyuubi's yin and yang halves and sealed them within both girls. Kushina's anger welled up, partly directed at Minato for using their daughters in such a way, causing them to suffer a fate similar to hers. However, Minato gently reassured her that her own survival had been uncertain and the third Hokage had given his life to ensure the village's safety. Still struggling with her emotions, Kushina found it difficult to fully accept Minato's reasoning. However, he sensed her turmoil and decided to reveal another crucial piece of information. He shared with her the prophecy that the Great Toad Sage had foretold an ancient power held by the children of the Leaf Village leaders would have the potential to either save or destroy the world. Minato explained that he believed their daughters, Akari and Naruko, were the ones mentioned in the prophecy. As descendants of the Uzumaki clan, carriers of the Kyuubi's chakra, they possessed an ancient power that could shape the future. Naruto, their son, also played a significant role, but for now, their daughters needed more attention due to their connection with the Kyuubi. Overwhelmed by this revelation, Kushina questioned the potential consequences. She worried about the possibility of their daughters straying from the path of righteousness and becoming a force they had always feared. But Minato reassured her, promising that they would provide unconditional love and support. They would train their daughters when they turned 5, and both Jiraiya and Tsunade would lend their guidance and expertise. Kushina gradually began to grasp the importance of their daughter's role and the responsibility they carried. She agreed to support Minato and assist in training their daughters when the time came. As a former Jinchuriki of the Kyuubi, she understood the struggles and challenges they would face. Their conversation shifted to Naruto, their beloved son, who hadn't been mentioned in the prophecy. Minato assured Kushina that Naruto would be fine and that they would ensure he received the necessary attention and protection. When the girls became genin, he proposed that Kushina focus on training and safeguarding Naruto while he concentrated on their daughter's development. Although still grappling with a mix of emotions, Kushina saw the wisdom in Minato's plan. She knew that their daughters needed guidance and control over the Kyuubi's chakra from an early age. With her experience as a former Jinchuriki, she would play a vital role in their training. Kagaya Otsutsuki found herself immersed in the monotony of her prison, unable to engage in any activities. The boredom weighed heavily on her as she observed the reincarnations of her sons, who were still infants and had yet to fulfill their destinies. While she didn't mind simply watching over them, the lack of excitement left her restless. Time passed, and Kagaya's attention focused on her older son's reincarnation. To her surprise, there were not one, but 2 individuals bearing his resemblance. However, unlike the division of the chakra tree into yin and yang, these 2 were not separated in such a manner. They mirrored her older son more closely than anyone else, yet there was an intriguing difference she couldn't quite comprehend. As 17 days flew by since her awakening, an unexpected event occurred. Kagaya could now sense her younger son's chakra. Strangely enough, it emanated from the same village where her older son's chakra originated. Konoha, as the humans called it. This revelation puzzled her. The fact that both of her son's chakra resided in the same place couldn't be a mere coincidence. Someone must have orchestrated this convergence, but Kagaya was unaware of the true motive behind it. She focused her attention on the group of people who possessed her younger son's chakra, rather than her older son's. She had always been perplexed by the existence of individuals bearing her younger son's chakra. After all, she had witnessed her older son kill his younger brother before her very eyes. So why were there now individuals carrying his chakra? The fact that she could sense her older son's chakra within the 2 boys but couldn't detect her younger son's presence didn't trouble her. She had believed him to be long dead. However, now sensing her younger son's potent chakra, she yearned to discover who wielded such power. On the 27th of December, 17 days after the Kyuubi attack, Hitomi Hyuga experienced pure bliss. Holding her newborn daughter in her arms, she named her Hinata, signifying a sunny place. Hitomi hoped that her daughter's arrival would breathe life into their currently desolate clan. The Hyuga clan, once vibrant, now seemed devoid of human emotions. They regarded any display of feelings as weakness. Hitomi desired to bring about change within the clan, and she believed her newborn daughter, the future clan leader, had the potential to achieve that. Hiashi Hyuga, the current clan head and Hinata's father, entered the room. Upon seeing that his wife had given birth to a girl, his expression soured. Disappointment clouded his face. How could a girl lead the clan? He showed no trace of happiness, mimicking the emotionless demeanor of the rest of the clan. Don't judge her based on her gender alone. Girls can grow to be just as strong as boys. Hinata will become the strongest Hyuga, I believe in her, Hitomi retorted, unlike the emotionless members of the clan. Having not been born and raised within the clan, she stood out, retaining her capacity for emotions. She had met a different Hiashi, a kind man who always smiled before he assumed the role of clan head. Hiashi's brother, Higashi, excelled in everything. He was the perfect candidate to become the next clan head. However, due to a mere few minutes of birth timing, Higashi was relegated to the branch family, while Hiashi ascended as clan head. Their brotherly love evaporated as Higashi blamed Hiashi for being born first, which led to his demotion. Now, Hiashi and his son bore the burden of the branch family seal, sealed by their fates. After that event, Hiashi underwent a drastic transformation. His smiles vanished, replaced by the stern demeanor of a clan head dedicated to upholding tradition and the clan's best interests. I will begin training her as soon as she can walk. I need to see if she possesses the potential to become the next clan head, Hiashi declared. Hitomi's disappointment grew. She had hoped that becoming a father would soften Hiashi's heart and bring back his smiles, but he remained resolute, focused solely on training his daughter to become an emotionless leader like himself. Hitomi refused to let that happen. She was determined to ensure her daughter's upbringing was different. You can't do that, and deep down, you know it. At least wait until she turns 5, Hitomi implored. Hiashi took a moment to consider her words, his expression softening slightly. Alright, he finally acquiesced. I will wait until she turns 5 and then I will personally train her. Although Hitomi didn't want her daughter to be forced into anything, she recognized that now was not the time to press the matter further. For the next 5 years, she would dedicate herself to Hinata, showering her with love and affection. Hitomi knew that nurturing her daughter's spirit was crucial. She would teach Hinata about the beauty of emotions, the strength and compassion, and the power of understanding. She would encourage Hinata to embrace her own uniqueness, her own strengths, and challenge the restrictive traditions of the clan. So this part ends here. Alright, that's it for today's video guys. Let me know in the comments section how was the story, and also don't forget to like, share and subscribe. I will meet you in another video. Bye bye.